Yes. You want to tell me all these years, Mohammed and his father and all of them is a part of PPP that had gone at the PPP office, Freedom House on Rob Street, protecting the PPP from the black people and PNC. And all the time, you in there, you never see that they ill-treating black people, they killing out black people. You never see this corruption within this party. All the time, you, your family, your uncle, your father, your sister, your mother, everybody supporting this party. Y'all never see that this party is corrupt. Never at no point in time until sanctions start raining down upon you and you expect them to cover you, and they did not cover you. They took away all your gold and diamond license and your business license, your cambio license, and you get upset. And then you started to decide that, you know what, I can run for election to get rid of the sanction, and I can run for election to get back at the people.
People want to know how to vote. People want to know how to vote. You understand me? Look carefully. Where you put the X. Right there. Right at the palm. You get your ballot box. You go to the ballot, you go to the booth. You go in the booth, collect your ballot, and you go and you watch all the candidates. And you go and you put your X right there at the palm. Right there! So you know how to vote now. Right at the palm.
I am Aubrey Compton Norton, presidential candidate of the Partnership for National Unity. We have the best team in this election campaign. We have the best manifesto with the plans, policies that will take you out of poverty. We will ensure that money is put into your pocket. For those reasons, we urge you to vote APNU. Put your X next to the palm. Guyana needs to grow, so the PPP must go. The only party that can give us a better and brighter future is a Partnership for National Unity. I urge you to put your X next to the palm and enjoy a high quality life. Thank you.
Yep. So we're having some slight technical difficulties on the ground in Guyana. No fault of ours. Technical difficulties on the ground, no fault of ours. We're trying our best. You know what the PPP is up to, and so therefore the PPP cannot hold back the elections. They want to hold back the elections. Folks, please share the link. We're on live right now with the Prime Ministerial candidate of APNU, Ms. Juretha Fernandes. She's going to be on with us for a few minutes, maybe about a half hour. We'll try to squeeze in 2 extra minutes. Who knows? The Prime Ministerial candidate is busy all over the place. Busy all over the place, getting those last-minute votes, getting folks from off the fence, explaining to people where and how they have to vote. Good work. Look, APNU team is busy on the ground. And if some of you are trying to get them and you can't get them, don't get vexed. Understand that they are busy. Those of you who can help out in whatever way, financially, prayers, go underground, go into Congress Place, ask if you can help, but make sure that you're genuine. Don't go there as a snitch and these sort of things. You know how some operate, right? All right. So the prime ministerial candidate is here, as we've promised you. We are hearing lots and lots of things, and I like what I'm hearing. Many of you have heard about the healthcare system. I heard through the grapevine, APNU coalition, they're going to make things right for the people. You know those little kids, and they go around and they have to have barbecue and all these different things to sell, to raise funds to send their little kids overseas for treatment. I heard through the grapevine that APNU coalition, they have a plan for young people. No youngster, no parent should walk around and sell barbecue tickets for funds and all these different things. I'm hearing some good things that the APNU, since the PPP cannot do it, APNU has some good things in store. It's called the Children Grant, the Children Life Grant. We can talk about that later on, but let's not have the prime ministerial candidate wait any longer. She's backstage. Let's get ready to rock and roll with her today. JF, Juretha Fernandes. How are you?
Hello. Hi, Mark, and everyone watching. It's good to be here with you.
Yeah. So I know you're pretty busy, and we appreciate you've taken time out of your busy schedule to be here with us. You guys had a great show. Rally out there, a show of support in Bartica a couple of days ago. Great job. And then last night's rally at the Square of the Revolution. Coffee is the talk right now. Coffee is the talk. You guys had a fantastic, a massive turnout last night. Talk with that turnout and the mood of the people there last evening on the ground.
What I can tell you about last night is that what you see there is confidence in the APNU and confidence in the leadership of Aubrey Norton. Persons have listened throughout the campaign and they know the policies by heart now, and they have confidence in Aubrey Norton and his team to execute with efficiency so that they will benefit from the resources of this country. So last night, persons came out in a show of solidarity, support, and they're going to be taking that energy forward into tomorrow as we head to the polls, because everyone is just sick and tired of having to suffer as they're suffering right now under the PPP administration. So last night was just the first showing, if I can put it that way, of the support that you're going to see tomorrow when those numbers start to come in.
Massive support. Thousands upon thousands of people turned out last night. It was very touching, though, Ms. Fernandes, to hear people talk about the healthcare system. The first speaker, a young woman, talked about how she lost her father because of a failed healthcare system. I'm hearing that this child support grant for little kids who may have to do their surgery instead of their parents going out and selling barbecue tickets and all these things. Some just fantastic plans and policies you guys have in place for the Guyanese people. But let's talk about the free house lot. Lots of people, young people, I have some relatives and friends are talking about this free house lot. It's really catching on like wildfire. How important is that for young people?
The free house lot is extremely important, and I can tell you, if you were to examine the structure that persons are operating under right now, you would note that a house lot, you can go for a 50 by 90 house lot, and you have to pay over $1 million for that house lot. That's the system right now in Guyana. You take forever. They actually just allow you to go stick your hand in a bag, pull a number. You don't see the lot until probably 3 years after you pull that number. And even then, you don't have a piece of documentation that says, I own this land. So when it comes to housing, it was managed very, very poorly. I can tell you that when it comes to saying that persons earning $400,000 and less will be given a free house lot, it accounts to the majority of Guyanese young families out there, fathers, mothers. You should not have to wait until you have a child, then go to apply for a house lot. It should be the opposite way around. But what the PPP administration did was that they pushed the age up. We had the age at 18 years old. At 18 years old, you could have applied for a house lot. The PPP moved that from 18 to 21. So they basically barred every person in Guyana between the ages of 18 to 21 from applying for a house lot. We are going to be removing that. We're going to put it back to 18. And now we're saying that once you earn less than $400,000 per month, you will be entitled to a free house lot. You know, when we talk about people-centered development policies, these are the things that you have to take into consideration. When we went out there and we spoke with our constituencies, these are the matters that were most pressing: housing, access to house lots. And we came back and designed policies that were specifically going to be beneficial to those persons that are finding it challenging to access a house lot. But most importantly, we're not just talking about giving persons a free house lot. We have a policy that is a very solid policy in the rent to own that is basically saying that you will be able to have the opportunity for your house to be built, completed, and for you to pay a rent that will be a minimum amount of money per month. Pay it off, and the house is yours. You are living in this home. You are just paying a monthly rental, and at the end of it, that home is yours. And those are major milestones that we will be reaching as a country, because as it is right now, that is not the situation. We have a lot of red tapes persons encountering when they go to commercial banks and so forth to actually apply for a mortgage. You see, Mark, what persons need to understand is that in Guyana, we don't have the majority or the vast majority of our population the working segment of the population actually in more structured jobs. Persons are, for example, taxi drivers. A taxi driver go to the bank, he doesn't have a long list of records when it comes to him paying income tax and all of those things every month. A lot of persons are working, doing a hustle, as we say in Guyana. We have to provide for those persons as well. And the rent-to-own policy will be removing the red tapes that those families face to make it easier for them to own their own home. These are things that were conceptualized, and we went through every bit of the policy design, and we are ready to roll it out from the 2nd of September.
Thank you so much for that you guys are ready to roll out all those fantastic plans on behalf of the Guyanese people all across the board. It doesn't matter ethnicity, political affiliation. You guys seemed as though you're ready to take control from day one. Let's talk about the healthcare system. It's been destroyed for 23 years under the PPPC regime. It's been destroyed for 5 years from 2020 to now under the PPPC regime. How are you guys going to be able to handle that?
Well, I can tell you this, and I can use examples. You see, having these conversations, it's important that we put forward the examples. I'm going to use Bartica as an example, the healthcare system there, and I can use the entire Region 7 as an example. Looking at the Bartica Hospital, when we took office in 2015, the healthcare there was very poor. Between that 5-year period from 2015 to the elections in 2020, when we left office, we had 16 specialist doctors at the Bartica Hospital. When we went into office, we did not have those specialist doctors there. When we left office, we had an operating theater that was working in Bartica. Before 2050, we had nothing like that. When we left office, we had a CT scan working there in Bartica. We had X-ray departments working in Bartica. We did those things when we had very limited resources to expend in the country. But we channeled those resources back to the people to make sure that we were investing in things that will be beneficial to them. We did not invest in ourselves, our own pockets. We invested in people. Today, Mark, if you were to go to the Bartica Hospital, you would see persons have to catch water in the bucket because the roof is leaking. You have situations right now being faced at the hospital. I think we moved from 16 specialists probably down to 2, if so much right now. With more money being expended, $1 trillion economy, you would expect that things would have gotten way better, but it's the absolute opposite. Things are worse right now when we have more money. If you were to go into the Upper Mazaruni, the hinterland areas, You go to Cameroon, you would believe that the PPP has done so good when they talk about how they love indigenous people. You go to Cameroon, the Cameroon hospital does not have electricity after 10 p.m. in the night. The doctors have to be using flashlight to deliver a baby. You go to Kaikan. If you go to Kaikan there, Kaikan is right by the border. You have more Venezuelans coming over on a daily basis to access our health care. We have a bed there, a room with a bed. And you know what happens there? Persons just go there to die because when they get there, there's no oxygen. There is absolutely nothing there. That healthcare center there has bat infestation. This is the fastest growing economy, but the resources are not meeting the people. And that is the reality of what is happening on the ground right now with healthcare in Guyana. And I want to add this, we can talk for so long on these matters because we have been speaking on these things. We have been representing the issues, representing the people. We have been bringing these matters at the forefront of the level of the National Assembly for 5 years. We had a budget passed in which billions of dollars were budgeted specifically to go into private healthcare. When persons talk about a healthcare voucher, $10,000 healthcare voucher per person, you had billions of dollars directly being injected into private healthcare when the public healthcare system is piss poor, and that is a fact.
Thank you so much, APNU Prime Ministerial Candidate, Ms. Juretha Fernandes. We want to touch on every Guyanese, but thousands upon thousands of Guyanese, indigenous Guyanese are proud. They are looking forward to have the country to have its first, yeah, you're smiling, right? First Prime Minister of indigenous background. We know what the PPP has done for 23 years to disregard our indigenous brothers and sisters, to disregard the communities. We saw that the indigenous communities were able to breathe again and to have the respect under the coalition from 2015 to 2020. The young indigenous children were given the opportunity to go to school, whether by bus, boats, or whatever, under the coalition. Free breakfast. And all these things under the coalition, respect under the coalition, radio stations in indigenous communities under the coalition. Those are things we never saw under the 23 years of PPP rule. We are talking about better roads under the coalition, lights under the coalition, better schools, better justice system. Not just for the indigenous communities, but across the country. But specifically, the indigenous communities were able to breathe again under the coalition. Under the coalition, we saw passport office in Lethem. We saw better schools, better police station, better justice, better magistrates courts. Magistrates were assigned, more magistrates. All these things under the coalition. But now the PPP rushing into the indigenous communities, going on their knees, begging them for their votes. Of course, the indigenous communities will reject them. We also see other people who never cared about the indigenous communities, went in, wrecked those communities, either through gold mining or whatever, destroy the communities. But now we see them try to swar them. We know that APNU has a good plan. We know that APNU has the best plan based on what we're seeing in your manifesto, based on what we're seeing in your actions as well, your party's action. How confident are you, Madam PM candidate? And hopefully by tomorrow, you will return and we will address you as Madam Prime Minister. How confident are you that your party, the coalition APNU, will be able to get the majority of indigenous communities supporting, voting, and giving APNU an opportunity again to take control of the country?
What I can tell you, Mark, is that when we went out into the indigenous communities, we've had our campaign touching every single region. What I can tell you also is that we have so many indigenous communities that we were not able to touch every single last one. But the communities that we did go to, the communities that we had meetings with, our meetings were exceptional. And there's one thing that we heard at every single meeting, because when we have our political meetings within these villages, We would make our presentation, discuss our policies, and then we will make sure that the majority of the time is used on us actually listening to the people, taking questions from them. And there was one thing that was always said repeatedly. I know that was it. The persons on the ground, they say that they appreciate how we come. We don't come to abuse out anybody. We come and we make sure that we only talk on policies. And the best part is that we listen to them, because no other grouping goes and do that. Mark, I want to tell you that we do not bluff this. Politics, governance, it's not about the hype. It's not about bluffing away. It's about structuring policies. It's about making sure that you have a framework in play that is ready to go, so that every single thing that you have decided to do in these communities will be done. And when you can go and execute and speak to the people about the policies that you're delivering, and speak to the persons when it comes to the difficult questions that they have. Well, if this wasn't done before, how is it going to be done now? Where's the money going to come from? And you have those conversations and you break it down. I can tell you, I have not had any grouping, any meeting that ended without persons being completely happy with what they heard. We have gotten tremendous support in the hinterland. Every single community that we've touched, persons have expressed confidence. They are expressing a desire to get on board every step of the way. As I speak to you right now, I have some persons waiting in the hinterland that wants to know what is it that they can do tomorrow to assist with these things, because they see the benefit of the policies for themselves, for their children, and these are the things that they're gravitating to. They're not gravitating to a hype. They're not gravitating to any bit of loyalty to any other political party that they may have supported before. Their eyes are open. We have reached them. They understand the policy, and we're very, very confident that they have the confidence in us to execute what we've presented to them.
You know, one of the things, I know you're tight in terms of your schedule, and we appreciate your time, Madam Prime Minister, possibly in waiting, who knows. And in order for this to become a reality, folks, you've got to go out and vote. You've got to put your X in the right spots, top and bottom. This is how you vote. You go out. APNU, you'll see the palm there. You vote right there. And then at the bottom, you vote for APNU as well. You do that consistently. And some people are saying the going thing for some people is split it. Don't take a chance this time around and split it. Don't split it, because if you split it, you will definitely get hurt. So don't split it. Now, let me say this.
Mark. It's important that we have a little bit of a conversation on that. I know our time is limited, but we still need to touch on it. I saw a bit of campaigning going out there to say split the vote. And basically what that is saying is some persons are basically saying that, hey, I don't see myself having any impact in this election. So if I'm not going to have an impact, I'm just going to try to take votes from you so that you don't have the victory at the end of it. I want to tell persons out there, as we speak here right now, that when it comes to vote splitting, there is nothing empowering about being in opposition in Guyana. Our constitution does not give power to opposition parties that maintain or get one seat at the level of the National Assembly. If you get one seat at the level of the National Assembly, there's nothing that you can do to represent people. You can go and talk all you want. If you get 30 seats, the PPP still goes out and do what they want. Anybody that comes to you and tell you anything about splitting your vote, you should ask them, and how is it going to benefit me as a person? Because it will not benefit you as a person. I saw lots of persons going out there and trying to give the impression that if there is a system in place that they have a seat, just one single seat, then they will be able to represent persons and make sure that resources go to them. That is not true. It cannot be done. And I will give you a very vivid example. We were in Parliament. I sat in Parliament as a member of the opposition from 2020 to 2025. We approached at the level of the National Assembly. We put motions in for persons to be given monies for direct cash transfer to people. Those motions never saw the light of day on the floor. You know why? Because there's a standing order that says opposition parties, opposition members cannot direct government on where to spend its resources. And this is a message that needs to go out. to anybody that goes out there and give any impression that they will be able to direct government resources if vote is split, they are being completely untruthful. That cannot be done. It absolutely cannot be done. The only thing that can be done at this stage is for us to unite our vote around the APNU, because the APNU is the only political party that has the capacity, that has the movement, the momentum, the policies that not can only defeat the PPP, but can actually take you out of a situation of poverty, a situation from victimization into empowerment. These are real issues that are affecting Guyanese every single day, and no splitting of the vote is going to get you out of it. You've got to consolidate and unite your voices, unite your vote behind the APNU if you want the PPP out of office. And I'm very, very strong on that point, because I believe there's a lot of misinformation out there when it comes to vote splitting.
Lots and lots of misinformation indeed. Vote splitting at this last minute or whatever, in my opinion, is kind of like having one foot in hell and one foot in heaven, and expect some sort of justice and expect some sort of good thing coming out of it. Do not take the chance at this time, at this point in time, to split the votes, because it can cause some headaches. And splitting the it's a miss. What you've got to do is go down and vote APNU top and bottom. You know, quickly before, I know you have another schedule. I saw your you guys are hitting, I don't know what's going on with the internet down in Guyana, but we already know that's why folks have to go out and vote. Your campaign folks are saying you guys are hitting the ground, which is good. But one of the things that I'm impressed about is, especially when you guys go around, you don't have to pay people. You don't have to give them 10,000, and we see as the PPP is giving out, and we see WIN or whatever they call themselves, they are giving out $5,000 bills and enticing people. It's called buying votes. It's not sincere. It's not from the heart. And we are seeing these things, and people are not stupid. People can read between the lines. They know who are the folks that are there for them. They know that APNU has good policies. They know that APNU has lots and lots of good people who are candidates. Lots of people who care about them, and people who are willing to run from day one to fight for them for a better life. They already know that. But let me talk about women, young women, single mothers, and so forth, who have been punishing for so many years under the corrupt PPP regime, who have been discriminated against under the corrupt PPP regime. And we see that there are other hustlers who have just recently formed political parties are trying to get their support, but the women are turning a blind eye. What is your take? What is your message right now to young women who are prepared to go out and vote tomorrow, young women who are voting for APNU, young women who are on the fence, and young women who might want to take a chance with another party? What message do you have right now to bring them back in fold and let them go out and vote resoundingly for APNU tomorrow? Your message, please.
What I can say, Mark, to women out there right now is that as a woman myself, as a mother of 3 daughters, I understand the struggles that women are facing right now in Guyana. I understand the struggles as it pertains to making sure that your children are cared for. I understand the struggles that women face when it comes to making sure that we take care of the home and also build a career for ourselves. The APNU, we have a list of measures, solid policies that will be benefiting women in Guyana. Some of the things that we've realized over the time is that a lot of women out there are natural entrepreneurs, but they have not been given the resources and the support from government for them to be the best at what they do. We are going to make sure that women are catered for in this way. When we spoke about a development bank coming to Guyana, offering loans, 0 interest loans, this is going to be one of the policies that's going to be specifically beneficial to women. We understand that a lot of you are out there You've never gone down the line of actually owning a small business. A lot of you have micro businesses, but you want to build, you want to be able to access resources. We have that plan for you. We want to make sure that your children are cared for. When we say we're going to be raising the money that children receive in school from $55,000 to $120,000, we didn't stop there. We made sure that we also catered for children that are not yet in school, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. We are going to be catering for children from birth right through secondary school. These are things that are dear to women. When it comes to empowerment of women, we will be pushing it aggressively. We want to make sure, most importantly, that our women are safe. And this is a big issue in this country right now. And on that matter, Mark, I can tell you, the PPP administration as it is right now, they have been front and center when it comes to abuse of women. It comes from persons at the level of the National Assembly and their representation there. When it comes to abuse of women, I can say this, that the APNU will not tolerate it at any level. And we will make sure that we have strong policies that are in force to make sure that our women are not just empowered financially, but you are protected. We want to make sure that we are looking at everything through a whole of governance approach. We just don't want to be at the national level setting out policies like that. We're going to have a whole of governance approach when it comes to the empowerment of women, because we want to make sure that we touch every single region, every single community, every single village. That is how it has to be done. We have the structure in place. We have seen the loopholes, and we will make sure that women are catered for under the APNU administration. So we encourage everyone to get on board. And as I talk to you right now, I may seem a little distracted, but I'm just trying to end some of my meeting invites.
Thank you so much. And we are trying to end our time here with you, Madam PM candidate. Tomorrow, we may be calling you Madam Prime Minister-elect. Quickly before we go, and let me apologize for the lewd language shared here by a candidate of the PPP, because the vulgarity and the disrespect for women, I cannot see how can people, especially females, go out and support the PPP tomorrow. They've got to turn away from the PPP and vote overwhelmingly for APNU. Take a listen to this, and I'll get your opinion before you go.
PPP will take care of you from erection to resurrection. A quick one for you. And the last time I said that, somebody came up to me and said, man, you little bias. Erection is a man thing. What happened to the women? So I got a woman thing for you. And hear me, from the moment she slime up till you get caught up, we gonna take care of you. Thank you. Thank you.
Your take on that vulgarity and disrespect to all women, and not only women, Guyanese. Talk to us, please.
That is what the PPP has to offer. That there is a representation of what the PPP has to offer to Guyanese. That there's a representation on full display on the campaign stage of the PPP of what you have to expect from them as women in Guyana. That is how they think about women, and that is how they execute when it comes to their policy decisions. They look at women as lesser. They never try to empower women. When it comes to the disrespect that women face, it comes from the level of the National Assembly. So you understand why someone will be so comfortable to stand on stage whilst the VP is in the background giggling, because that's funny to him, because those things are at home for them. That's their chit chat when they get together and have their little conversations and drink their rum. That's how they behave. And a lot of things have been said on this campaign trail, Mark. The person should see as an eye-opener when it comes to the level or lack thereof in the representation presented by the PPP. They have not tried to hide it. It has been poor. They execute poorly. They go unprepared to make presentations because they're not prepared to speak on policies. And that's why you end up with things like that. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's appalling. And I believe that alone should cause women, any woman that was considering them, to just turn the other way. We have got to stand up for ourselves as women. So when I represent all women. But when it comes to Indigenous women, it could be even a more resounding message, because Indigenous women have seen and faced disrespect from the PPP and their ministers over the years. And we have got to understand that that is the nature of the beast. They're not pretending. That is who they are. We've got to stand up, use our most strongest voice, and that is our vote. And go to the polls 6 a.m. tomorrow. Women should be lining up at the polls to vote the corrupt PPP administration out of office. You have to put your X by the palm if you want to see the backs of anyone, any administration that would empower people that is completely disrespectful to women.
Well said. Tomorrow, please, lots of folks are watching and they want 107.1 FM to have the first and the exclusive interview with Prime Minister-elect Juretha Fernandes. That is Juretha Vanessa Fernandes. We thank you so much. Folks, you've got to go out, you've got to vote. Vote for our little kids, vote for especially our little girls, our little boys and girls. Their future is at stake right now. You cannot gamble with their future. Go out and vote. APNU. In case you haven't, you have a minute or whatever, in case I haven't asked you a question and you want to make a final point to listeners, especially those who are in Guyana preparing to vote, but maybe sucking their teeth because they're still on the fence. Here is your opportunity to have them removed from the fence and go down and vote APNU. Please, you're closing.
What I can say to persons there, if we have anyone at this point that is still on the fence, when you go out there and you exercise your vote, you exercise your voice. I told persons on the campaign trail that I remember the very first time I voted. And when I went into that polling station and I went to that booth and I placed my X, it's the most powerful I've ever felt in my entire life. Because in that moment, I knew that I was making a decision. My vote mattered to the point that I was making a decision as to who would be the president of a country. And at that point, you feel most empowered. You know why? Because it matters who is in government. A lot of persons sometimes believe that, no matter who's in government, I still have to work hard. And I say that, and I say to those persons that who is in government matters. It matters because who is in government determines how much your $1,000 could buy. Who's in government determines how much you are respected. Who's in government matters because it determines whether or not you will be victimized. I say to everyone listening, we have policies that is from the cradle. We have policies to benefit your children. We have policies to benefit persons that are studying. We have policies to benefit every working person in this country. We have policies to benefit senior citizens in this country. We have policies that is going to take persons out of poverty, for them to actually be empowered financially. They will be trained, and we are having a policy directive that will see a new Guyana, one in which Guyanese are empowered to live their best lives. So if you're on the fence right now, I say this to you, you matter. Your vote matter. It is extremely important for the direction of this country. And if you want a country in which you are empowered, if you want a country in which your children are safe, if you want a country in which public servants are not victimized, if you want a country in which all of Guyana sees the benefit of the resources, and if you want a country in which we are going to be removing the corruption from government, so we're going to be taking hundreds of billions of dollars that are channeled into the pockets of a few and putting it back into your pockets. If that is the country that you want, then I say to you, go out tomorrow morning and vote for the APNU, because when you put your X next to the palm tomorrow, you are voting for empowerment. You are voting to be respected. You are voting for a country in which yourself, your family will be on the cusp of development at a different level. When you vote for the APNU, you are voting for yourself. You are voting for people that are prepared to represent you, because we have people-centered development policies. And the only thing we're concerned about is making your lives better at the end of the day.
Making your lives better at the end of the day. I know, Madam, we've spoke about split the votes, and people are going to throw that in the rubbish. But let's talk about split before you go, because I'm going to go and enjoy some good split peas cook-up. Hope you enjoy your split peas cook-up too, as you prepare to take to the polls tomorrow. Congratulations, and I wish you guys all the best, and make that promise that we will do that exclusive Prime Minister elect.
That's a promise. And what I can say to you also, Mark, is we appreciate all the work that you have been doing and getting the information out. That's absolutely critical at this stage, particularly tomorrow. So I thank you in advance for all the work that you will be doing tomorrow to get the information out to our people. This is an election in which we not only have to turn out to the polls, but this is an election in which we have to make sure that we are vigilant, because we know what is at stake. We know how things have been stacked, and we have to make sure that we are prepared as a people to be vigilant so that persons cannot do what is not supposed to be done. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All the best, and be safe on the ground, Madam PM.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
Bye-bye. All right, you heard it there. There was no easy flowing, understands the issues, knows exactly, very articulate, knows exactly how to sell the policies, and knows exactly what needs to be done from the first minute they are in office. You can't take a gamble. You can't take a chance with emotions and people who are given a script and they have to read from a script and all these things. If you guys aren't seeing the signs, the evidence glaring in front of you that the only party at this point in time, APNU, that can save Guyana is exactly APNU. Sound, qualified people, caring people. They're people who are fighting for country. They're not fighting for themselves. They're not fighting to be removed from sanctions or some charges pending, whether they're indictments in the US or what. They're not fighting for that. They're fighting for country. And if you guys, some of you can remove the emotions and also stop with this splitting thing at this point in time. Stop with the splitting thing. The only splitting you could talk about right now is a nice, hot split peas cook-up. Today, split peas cook-up. So when they talk about splitting the votes, talk about split peas cook-up. Show them your split peas cook-up today and tomorrow. My name is Mark Benchap. 5 o'clock, Wayne Caesar is going to be on with his special program of Over to You. He's going to be, there will be a call-in section as well. So you guys can participate. And after Wayne Caesar, then we have a program coming up with Christopher Jones, Chris Jones. And then after Chris Jones, I will be having a late night split peas cook-up with you guys. Split peas cook-up. So when they say split the votes, so wait a minute. You mean split peas cook-up. I love you guys. God bless you all. And as you go, share the link, share the news, spread the word about voting tomorrow. Let people go out in their numbers. Now, there might be a little issues here and there. Forget about the issues. Now is not time for bumps raised. Now is not time to throw your vote to people who have oppressed you or who have been part of an oppressive system and think that they could find justice for you. There's no justice for you. Take a look at this here. Just imagine This is the grandmother, and someone sent me this, the grandmother of Adriana Young, embracing the oppressors, embracing the very people who possibly participated in the murder of her granddaughter. How low could Guyana go at this time? Now, people have a right for their choice, but sometimes when people make that choice, it makes you say, I wonder what's going on in their heads. Is justice all about emotions? Is it about a few dollars that people may give you that you may think they can bring about justice for you? No. The only party right now that can bring about justice, and I'm speaking from experience, because we have seen that under the coalition from 2015. More should have been done, but I'm almost certain that more will be done under this new coalition government. Take it from me. I should know all about justice, right? And fighting for justice. And when certain people endorse oppressors, it makes me wonder whether they really or truly want justice for their loved ones. I'm out of here. I just leave that as is. Thank you so much, Prime Ministerial Candidate Juretha Fernandes, and to all of you, wherever you are, thank you all so much. We'll continue with more live program, starting from 5 o'clock with Wayne Caesar. But for now, I'm out of here. I was tempted to talk about house. Sorry about that. But we are not going to pay them any mind. They're not going to sap up our energy. Those chihuahuas. They're vexation to the soul. So we're going to stay focused. Thank you all. See you at 5 o'clock. Wayne Caesar is going to be on, and then I'll be back at sometime later this evening. God bless you all. So long.
Yes. You want to tell me all these years, Mohammed and his father and all of them is a part of PPP that had gone at the PPP office, Freedom House on Rob Street, protecting the PPP from the black people and PNC. And all the time, you there in there, you never see that they ill-treating black people, they killing out black people. You never see this corruption within this party. All the time, you, your family, your uncle, your father, your sister, your mother, everybody supporting this party. Y'all never see that this party is corrupt. Never at no point in time until sanctions start raining down upon you and you expect them to cover you, and they did not cover you. They took away all your gold and diamond license and your business license, your cambio license, and you get upset. And then you started to decide that, you know what, I can run for election to get rid of the sanction, and I can run for election to get back at the people.
People want to know how to vote. People want to know how to vote. You understand me? Look carefully. Where you put the X? Right there. Right at the palm. You get your ballot box. You go to the ballot, you go to the booth. You go in the booth, collect your ballot, and you go and you watch all the candidates. And you go and you put your X right there at the palm. Right there! So you know how to vote now. Right at the palm.
I am Aubrey Compton Norton, presidential candidate of their Partnership for National Unity. We have the best team in this election campaign. We have the best manifesto with the plans, policies that will take you out of poverty. We will ensure that money is put into your pocket. For those reasons, we urge you to vote APNU. Put your X next to the palm. Guyana needs to grow, so the PPP must go. The only party that can give us a better and brighter future is a Partnership for National Unity. I urge you to put your X next to the palm and enjoy a high quality life. Thank you.